Blog Talk Radio.
Today is March the 7th, 2014, and it is Friday. FreakiLeaks. Dr. Short, are you there?
Oh, yes, and today we're going to have, I know folk have heard about vagina monologues. Well, it's time for dick monologue. It's just time. Before I kicked off, I've been getting emails and letters from people who are having problems in their lives. They said, Dr. Short, you and Black Rose have got to tell and put the truth out of one of the greatest crime scenes in the Western world is sisters who are with the man, and they're more stingy than Scrooge from A Christmas Story when it comes down to putting out sex. And, in fact, you know that is a crime against humanity because, you know, there's one thing. If there's nothing a black man needs, he needs some sex. He needs some straight-up sex. He needs cooch. They call it pussy. There's so many names for it. That's how much they love it. In fact, you know, even when we were kids in church, and I'm a preacher's kid, at an early age, you know that that's something that you need aside from Jesus. You know, so while we're singing, "Oh, how I love Jesus," someone else will be singing, "Oh, how I love coochie," because coochie first loved me. But now it seems like coochie don't love us anymore, and we've got to find out why. What happened? Where's the love? I am angry here because I got a letter from a man, good church man, working hard, changed his life and all this, and he's taking care. And him and his woman have not done it in 3 years. I mean, she's trying to get a gold medal for being an ass. Actually, I want to use the B word, but I won't do that. I'm not going to call his woman a B, although that's what she's being. I mean, folk are holding up officer sex, folk are fighting, getting divorced, throwing babies out the window, committing suicide, using drugs, going gay, and everything else, because there's this, forgive me, a pussy shortage. That's unnatural. It's just as unnatural as what Wall Street did with those derivatives and subprime loans. And I'm here to stand up and shake my finger defiance in the faces and the vulvas of all these women out here who got a good man, and they somehow think it's cute to sit up and make him climb the showers like a roach, you know, because the brothers have to take a cold shower because they haven't had none. And then if he tries to get some, she can't wait to run the court. And it's almost like basketball. She has an on-court favor because she's a black woman. The judges are going to be in favor of her. So he's going to lose everything. That's probably what Ray Charles advised, cheaper to keep her, because if you try to get some new cooch, then she's going to get everything, plus you won't get visitation. So we're here to basically, like Dr. King, we're here because black women boast about having the bombest bodies and the best cooch of all times. And you do. Y'all do it. Y'all have the best. But, you know, Saudi Arabia, if they didn't sell the oil, it would just be sitting there. They'd be broke. Now, some of y'all paid, wearing fur coats that you haven't sexually earned, wearing jewelry you haven't sexually earned, driving cars you haven't sexually earned. You guys are fraudsters because y'all too bootylicious to put out, and I don't buy that. And some of y'all are not religious. You know, there's some women out here, even the hoes don't screw anymore. I want to get paid. Wait a minute. A hoe gives it away, fool. Get your sin straight. Get your role. If you're a prostitute, then you need to get a schedule of prices of things that you do and be upfront. Don't pass yourself off like you're a hoe and then turn out to be a prostitute. That's like a church girl that want to be a ghetto hoe. Now, so please. So I'm here to raise hell because they're married men. They're afraid because, you know, when you're a man and you're married and you're not getting cooch, these guys can't speak up. There are a lot of weak, sorry, cowardly black men hiding. I don't know. They bought more KY jelly than Walmart, and that's still not getting it. And, you know, and some of them want to commit suicide because they're not having sex, and I don't blame them. But don't do that because that's not going to make them give up. They're going to just find another man and not give it. It's just if they go from one man to the other, no. You know, we black men are not going to be mocked like this, not in the 21st century. If we have to clone some folks who are going to put out, we're going to do it. In fact, they may do that with some stem cells. Then all the black women be complaining, they only want the artificial women. So tell me, you only want artificial hair. You only want artificial nails. You only want, you know, artificial eye contact. So we got an artificial woman that will screw. At least the artificial one will do something natural. Come on now. I'm trying to get the fight started tonight. We don't want to hear any of you women that have a defense for why you're not putting out. On your sexual report card, sisters, you've got a sad face with two black eyes. And the F on there is not for anything. That F on there is for being fake, for looking so good, wearing tight stuff, having tattoos with your reputation of how good you are in bed and not putting out. We tired of this. And no, I'm not out here trying to tell everybody to do anything they have no business. And don't tell me that there are no men out here because y'all sure find women. In fact, they'll even go out with unattractive lesbian women with auto grease under their nails. They used to tell men to have to go get their nails. You know, man got a shave, the woman got chin hair, and you out with them. So, we're going to talk about this. How do y'all following Alice Walker? You know, Alice Walker, you know, she got one bad eye. She's half fine. And she's, what, in her 70s? You know, Alice Walker, you know, and she's running around with some geriatric, Cabbage Patch looking white lesbian. Why is she giving our sisters advice not to put out? And all the other feminists, I don't care, all y'all feminists can line up, and I'll just punch one of y'all. Y'all all fall down like dominoes because we brothers can't take this. We're not going to live like this. You know, a lot of you sisters that don't put out, you're like an amusement park with the world's biggest water slide, and all y'all got water slides. You got one too, black women.
What do you mean by water slide?
Now, you know there's a water slide. Y'all got a little ride. Now, you got a natural water slide. Now, imagine it's a big amusement park and only has one ride, and it's the water slide. And it's the greatest, wettest, and the best. But yet when you get inside the amusement park, you can't get on the ride, right? Well, what would you do? You would want a refund. But yet, turn around, and the person that runs the amusement park that has the water slide that won't let you get on it tells you can't go anywhere else to get on another water slide. You can't have it like this. No, sisters. And I'm ready. Let me tell you something. I believe in human rights, but I don't believe that one has the right to hold up off the cooch when you're in a relationship. I'm ready to march like Martin Luther King with a whole bunch of white Mississippi against that. I'm going to form a black balls party instead of T-Party because, you know, T-Bag, well, we don't have the black balls party because we got to change this. We need to love each other. What happened to folks making love songs and folks just ordinary screwing? I mean, we're talking about, I'm not even talking about people out the street because, you know, it amazes me that some of the people that don't screw, they go to church.
And they always have some pedophile preacher who's always talking about how he needs 10%, and you're getting N%. You're getting 0% cooch tied into this dude who pits your woman against you. We need a rebellion. I mean, we want this cooch strike, this pussy shortage. We want to stop. In the name of Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we need to put all the folks who will not share it on my prayer list. I pray that the spirit of liberality spread them and share it. You know, this little cooch of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Share this stuff. Y'all didn't get that to you to sit up and have more cobwebs than a Spider-Man sequel movie? Are y'all crazy?
No, you did not.
And all black people got all this reputation for being so good in bed, and these fools done more strikes than American auto workers. I mean, United Coal Miners and everything else. So we're up here to say, all of y'all that have had experiences, if y'all have got some confession, get off your chest. Brothers, we're forming an organization because we're in the Cold War, the Cooch Cold War. In fact, I had Negroes up here crying to me about how these women ain't giving them enough. Folks are up in my house falling out all over like this was a World Trade Survivors reunion about how these women they done all this stuff for ain't giving them nothing. Now I'm trying to say, now these women talk about all these things being gay. You know what? Probably, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. And this is my challenge to all you sisters out there that don't like this. Do you know one thing I gotta give the punks? Gotta give the gays. Gotta give the homosexuals, whatever you want to call them. If you want a blowjob, whatever, they're going to do it 2 or 3 times. Sit up and stay in the face. I mean, try to make sure. You know why? Because they don't have a real cooch. They don't have the golden, holy grail that you have. So they make up for pretending to be something they can't be. But you know what? If you go over to the other side, the people on the other team, they at least play. Can you imagine? Have you ever seen a basketball team? A white basketball team, a black basketball team, and the black basketball team, everybody's a prima donna, so they don't work together and they lose. And the white team, everybody's sorry, but they win because they work together. That's what the gays are like the white folk, the white team. They work together to do their BS. And the black team is like black men and women who are heterosexual, and nobody wants to get, women go. Have you ever been to a nightclub and all the sisters refusing to dance? All acting like they're all lesbians, together so no male can approach them. I mean, they came there to say, I got the greatest cooch in the world, and my brothers can't have it. You're doing some Nancy Reagan just take all bullshit. And I want Nancy Reagan look like Skeletalia. I would be saying no to her. Ronald Reagan I got Alzheimer's, so he forgot how to do it not to be with her. So let's not even follow Nancy Reagan. Now, let me just get off on this for 1 second and just tell you something. As some of you ladies have excuses for why you can't put out, well, he had alcohol in his breath. Maybe you ugly. Maybe he needed some liquid courage to go down there. Maybe he needed something to blot out the smell down there. Don't do that. Some of y'all get high before y'all slept with someone. Why does a man have to be perfect? We ain't talking about Jesus. We talking about getting some. And keep getting it. So in the name, I bind it. Whew. I just see all these brothers running after foreign women and stuff. It's not because they want them. But you know what? Go to a white college and get a gin and tonic, and you can have yourself one of those cave women. Go to a black college, the sister wants you to take you to Red Lobster, wants you to have a Mercedes, wants you to buy all the gold in Egypt. No, don't get that. No, Credit Suisse. I want some King Tut. There's always got to be something excessive. And after you do all that, she's schooling your best friend that's in jail. Now, we got to work this out. And I've got to say this, and then we're going to open the lineup. I think Quan is in there. I just have to say this. How come the brothers in jail, they're going to jail to give cooch to a Negro in lockup who's probably killed 10 people, including her mother, grandmother, and her pastor? Why do they want to screw the men in jail that they can't get to, but don't want to give it to the ones they see every day? Okay, we got to figure this out. This is some craziness. Why is Ike Turner and Mike Tyson and all the sociopathic brothers getting the hookup and the nice ones getting scooped up by everybody else? Or they're on lockdown. When you got married to a man and you said I do, Did your mind say, psych, nigga, this is Cooch lockdown?
Oh.
You ain't never do nothing. If you leave, I get to house the kids, and you don't get to have parental visitation. I'll find some way to manipulate. What the hell is this? I mean, and you were not given that Cooch. I mean, first of all, let's just get here. If nobody makes love anymore, they know people. You can't even kill the baby to get an abortion. You can't even fight to deny Negro child support if you don't first get pregnant. So, come on now. Folks need to start touching each other. And, I walk down the street, and all sisters, they got more attitude than Hitler on crack and crystal meth. Come on now.
Oh, my God. Yeah, a lot of people have attitudes. Maybe they need to have more sex or something. I don't know.
What is up with this? In fact, then they'll write up an Essence, which used to be edited by this lesbian that didn't even like black men. Now it's white-owned. And Essence has just made so many black women mad, all these stories on rape. Every other story, some Negro beating some woman up. Never any story about how good he was. And yet, you know what? Just go anywhere. I'm telling you, I've traveled. Before you get off the plane as a black man going to another country, stewardess is trying to screw you. Even the men are trying to screw you, too. Is it true? Is it true how big you are? But at home, black men have, we almost have pole vaulting size genitalia everybody knows about. But at home, it's homeless. It's panhandling. Why is the black penis homeless in black America? It's like, why do we buy from Asians and other people? We should be buying from each other. You know what I'm saying? We've got to, I got to talk about this tonight. So I'm against that. You do not have the right to be with someone and not put out like this brother. I'm going to just call him Brother Blue Balls, but actually the balls would be burgundy because we're different colored people. But, we're Eurocentric, so we say blue. But it should be burgundy. All right? Now, tell me, we have some callers on the phone here. I want to hear from some men that are tired. We're going to have a revolution against this stuff. I think white folks way back told black men, we'll treat you better than the black guys if you don't give them any, okay? But I'm going to rape you first for the next 240 years, but when you're free, cut the other guys off. Did someone tell you that's a Willie Lynch Cooch thing? I don't know if there's some manual, because this is a union, like everybody's on strike.
Shut up. You're crazy. Let's see. Let
me can I say something right quick?
Yes.
Hello?
Brother
How you doing?
Brother Brown.
Yeah. I think one of the problems that we have in regards to that, and this is something that, again, I've been researching post-traumatic slavery disorder. We have, unfortunately, women have been hurt. And I think it's a two-sided element that we need to look at.
Well, Brother Brown, I'm going to tell you, but
please,
a little different.
You please let me finish.
No.
Let me finish. Please let me finish. I sit there and hear you talk. I heard you for 18 minutes, man. Let me.
But we want to hear the men's side, because we do the women's side. Okay, we do the women's side. And I have no problem. We've done the women. I want to hear from the men, not about what's been done to women, because this is the invisible side that men don't hear. And a lot of our men don't let us talk about it because we end up only talking about one sex and we're talking about two sexes. And tonight we're talking about what brothers go through. That's what we're doing. Brothers. I have no problem. We do some women's shows. We did the lesbian show. We'll do more. This is brothers. We have a problem in our community that there's only one sex speaking. I need both sexes. Brothers, y'all need to speak up. This is a problem.
All right. I think we may have Quan on the line. Let's see. 1 second. So
if you don't want me to talk, I won't talk. But don't cut me.
Well, let me see about this. Area code 904-303. Is this Quan?
Hello. How you doing?
Very well, and you?
I'm just fine. My name is Tahaka. I was just
okay.
told to call over here, and the brother that sent me over here told me what this was about briefly, and I've been listening since you came in. My understanding is, the brother, are you a Christian? The brother that was speaking, the host?
In this instance, I'm a black man saying that we've got a problem.
Okay.
And religion is part of the problem, no matter what religion it is, if religion doesn't allow the discussion. So I'll be very short with you, and no disrespect. We're trying to get brothers to come forward to talk about either their experience or observation. We're not doing the women's side, and we're not even emphasizing religion. We're emphasizing the individual. It's something that we seldom do, in particular when it comes to black men.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm a black man, and I'm a man, because you did use the word man.
Yes.
There's a tremendous difference, because we have a whole lot of males running around masquerading as men. I'm a man, in every sense of the word. I came from a line of men, even through the bloodline. And we do things quite differently than a lot of males that are masquerading as men, which is quite interesting, because a lot of what I hear from a lot of people I don't entertain. But when you say you're talking about men, and you want to hear from the men's side, I can go along with that, and I can deliver that.
Okay, so do you have a question or a comment in regards to the topic? What is your life like? Are you married? Are you married?
Yes, I have several wives.
What? You have 10 wives?
No, I didn't say 10. I have several wives. I host my own radio broadcast here on Blog Talk Radio, and I teach law. But, yes, I have several wives. I'm independent on my own home property, my own business, all of that. Yes, but I have several wives.
You said several.
And that works. You have several wives. So that works for you. Do you think that having several wives would help solve this problem?
Well, yes. We have to look at where we are inside the United States. There's a lot of things that have been taken away from us that may not seem to go along with what you think is happening. But the first thing that we have to understand is when you use the word man, now you're talking about something that is separate from what we are experiencing inside the United States. You said you were a Christian. So if we would alone.
I didn't dwell on my religion. I'm dwelling on this issue of the lack of intimacy in relationships. And I'm going to be very precise in this program, because I have two older voices and people from the older generation who may have a lot of things intact. It's very different once you get down in age. And this discussion needs to take place. And so I want to know specifically, in your instance, you have found that you've been able to have an excellent relationship with several women, and that has afforded you regular intimacy as a man.
Yes.
And that seems to be, if that's your answer, I want you to stay on the line, because I want to talk to other people, and we can bring other folks back to debate other issues, but I want to hear. So your answer is, first of all, being a man, although I want to focus in on our observations on women, but everybody is trained in our culture to not see this issue bigger. That's all right. I want to take another caller, but I want you to stay on, because we need to come back and look at, is polygyny a solution in America. I think that's wonderful. That's a solution. I want solutions to this problem. Sister, I need another caller.
Okay, let's see. Caller from 210. Welcome in. Don't be shy. 210. Okay, moving right along. 410-251. Oh, I think they're
sorry, just tuned in. I don't know the topic.
Pardon me?
Just tuned in, and I'm afraid I do not know your topic.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, we got to get the brother. We'll repeat it.
We'll repeat the topic. Let's just let you listen in, okay? Okay, one second.
Well, I hear a lot of people talking at one time, so I don't really know what anyone.
Okay. How about that? Let's go over the topic. So, actually, the title is FreakiLeaks, because it's Friday, is excessive pussy power a threat to relationships? All right. Questions on the table. Why don't we just go through our questions? Okay. Are you facing an unnatural pussy shortage? Oh, I said the word. So let's deal with that. Dr. Short?
We want male callers. We'll come to the ladies later in the program. I want to tease out male callers because we don't talk. Black men don't talk. And then when black men do talk, most of what they talk about is they often have a problem speaking up for black men. Got to have this other side of the discussion.
I tell you what, let's go through some more of the questions, and then we'll come back to them. Okay, so the first one, are you facing an unnatural piece shortage? Second question, is it right to cheat if she's stingy? Did you deserve a break today? Is your woman more like a cold fish or dry ice? And what's the longest you've been in a relationship without getting hooked up? And are you in a relationship with Mrs. Scrooge? Oh, she just really holding out, just being mean about everything. Does it have cobwebs? Do you go dusting or do you go munching? Oh, my goodness. And last but not least, is it a hot box or a haunted mansion? So what are you dealing with? What are you working with? What is your situation like? Come on now. Praise reports and horror stories are welcome. Don't be shy.
What works?
Yeah, and what are
How can we get through this? We've heard polygyny. I think polygyny, some people say it works. This brother said it works. Brother Taharka says it works. Some societies had it in Africa. When we came here, they broke it up. What would make this work? What could we do? And I want to hear from men. I do not, and this is not a discussion of men and women. This is a discussion of male. Black men are very depersonalized. They have a very difficult time just saying, this is how I feel, this is how it's looking from a male perspective. We've been trained to see both sides of everything, and I'm saying just give your side, how you see it as a man, and stick to it. When we had the lesbian didn't talk about straight men or straight women. She talked specifically, I am woman. I want the same thing for men. See what I'm saying, Black Rose? Black men have this difficulty just doing this. They have to always balance and talk about two. We're the only group of people in the country that have to talk about many sides to be heard. And we'll talk about both sides. But this time I just want to hear things like what the brother was saying. His situation, I have many women, so I don't have that problem. And I'm wondering if other men have many women, is it because of just polygyny or because many women work better than one because one woman doesn't want to please or she's been conditioned or whatever it is? We want to hear this. Take another question, please.
Okay, another question.
Another caller.
Is it right?
Caller.
Okay.
Another caller. I'm sorry.
All right. Caller from 510. Caller from 510.
Hello. I listened for a few minutes and then I had to get off, so I'm not even sure what the topic is. I just heard a young man who was really sounded distressed about lack of sexual relations. Is that what the issue is?
Well, actually, this is a show for men, so I am going to just let you know what the topic is. It's about excessive pussy control, pussy power in relationships. So just keep tuning in. We have a list of questions, and we really want some men to call in. Ladies, if you have some male friends, some brothers, call in. Tell them to call in. Give them this number, 347-637-3074, or they can log on to the Blog Talk Radio /thelotusplace.com, and they can tune in to this show. It's live right now. And we need some men to call in and talk about it. Let's talk about this subject. I'm hyped now. I'm ready to hear. I'm ready to hear from some men. I want to hear from some young men, some young people. You know, these young people, they're doing a lot of things. Let's see. Let's try about this. Let's try this caller. 289. I hope this is a male. Please tell me you're a man. Welcome into the Lotus Place. Okay, maybe it's not a man. And instead of them just telling me no, they don't say anything. That's fine. So, anyway, Dr. Short, let's pick back up with this. Let's move on to the next question. Maybe we'll have someone else call in about the peace shortage. Let's talk about this one. Is it right to cheat if she's stingy? What do you think about that? Would you cheat if your wife was stingy? Dr. Short?
I'm thinking no.
Oh, you're thinking.
But at the same time, that people are being put in a situation where I've known and seen people who've been married for years, and they ultimately had a divorce because it didn't happen for years. It was once or twice a year. I maybe close to Easter because Jesus got pierced at Easter time, but no other reason in the year. So folks end up getting divorced. The cheating is, if you want to call it that, that isn't the answer for me. The answer has to be forming the person that you're seeing, that you're with, to understand how to be intimate, or finding someone that will do that work. You know, it's like a job.
Mm-hmm. You know, me personally, I think that you have to find someone that you are completely compatible with, and particularly sexually compatible with, and you're attracted to that person, they're attracted to you, and then I think it's just organic. I think the sex acts are organic, and the foreplay is natural and beautiful, and it's all day, it's every day, you know, and I think that that's what makes the love making and the sex passionate, beautiful, and hot.
I want to ask you, as a female voice in this, I want to hear from you, because you see, this is something, notice how everybody's certain people are running from this, or if we discuss this, it's going to be discussed from the larger issue of men and women versus the individual, because nobody wants to say they're not getting hooked up. There's too much pride there. No, but you're a woman. Do you have any friends that are stingy? Any friends that boast and, you know, give each other dap for holding out or working to get that car or the ring or whatever, or she just wants to punish? Haven't you heard these kinds of stories?
I have.
Tell me something. Give me some examples. See, you know, when I'm a man talking about it, it's one thing. But when you're a woman, tell the truth. Now, how often? Give some examples, because people need to hear this. This is actually going on, and systematically so. And yet it's not discussed. And so you know about this. You're from Memphis. You know that's like the pimp capital of America. When folk are on strike there, we got an issue here. So share some. Chris, we can kick some stories, but we'll see. I want to hear your take as a woman when you hear folks saying, "Well, he ain't gonna get nothing for like 6 months," and y'all giggling, having drinks, and.
And they do. I mean, I've heard some of my girlfriends say things like that. He's on punishment. He's in a doghouse. I'm not giving him any for 3 months or 3 weeks or something like that. Or he made me mad. He didn't do this. So I'm not having sex with him because I know that's what he wants, you know. And I just say, wow, really? So that's interesting. You know, I've heard them say all kinds of things about what they're not going to do. I'm not going to give him a blowjob. I might have sex with him, but I'm not giving him a blowjob, if they say that. But if they do that. But, yes, I've heard many stories of women holding out and not wanting to be sexually active with their husbands. That's what's strange to me. This is your husband. So, yes.
Well, how do you feel? Do you think that's right? Is that right from your perspective as a woman? A lady's supposed to just, you know, do like the Star Trek doors. Remember they slide shut on Star Trek? And the door's supposed to slide shut because I have a bad attitude. I'm mad.
Or they have a headache.
Yeah,
the headache and all that.
What about married folks? Have you heard? Because I have folks who are in the counseling profession, and that's a big problem. We talk about married people. We talk about folks. It's not even something in the club. This is husband and wife been together, and you know she catches an attitude, and he can't have any for years at a time. I know this to happen to several, and this is the reason I wanted this conversation because black men, a lot of y'all liars. Y'all won't admit. that y'all, not everybody has skills to pimp their way out of stuff. Not everybody knows how to be Ron O'Neal. Not everybody's Superfly. It's hard out here for a pimp when you don't know how to be one. It's hard out here for you to be some sort of black man. Everybody black and male isn't taught all these games that we shouldn't be playing in the first place. But
games like
not
what?
Everybody knows all this. Not every games like doing psychological manipulation instead of people being transparent and caring towards each other. Okay? Not everybody's taught how to play and don't call her back, call her 3 weeks later. Not everybody gets all that information.
Yeah.
Particularly a lot of young men who do not have fathers or grandfathers or uncles, or they may not even have friends that give them information. They don't know all these games. Or they could be mama's boys. Not everybody knows how, because black women, y'all could be tough to work with if you don't know what's going on. So, I mean, what's your thought? Because I'm talking about married folks, church people. I'm talking about Muslim people, folk in the masjid, folks not touching people, folk haven't touched each other in years and stuff like this. And you can feel, you can walk into a room or a house or see, and say, man, you know, you're more likely to find a brontosaurus walking around than an old condom in their house.
Stop the madness. Oh, my goodness. And that I just don't understand because, like I said, I think that if that's your spouse, then you will be attracted to them, and it's just natural. You know, and you don't have to plan it and put it on the schedule and withhold it and all of this stuff. You just do it when you feel like it. You know, you remember that song, Do It Till You're Satisfied? Come on and do it.
Freaky Express.
What about your song? What about your song?
Well, no, we're not going to play that, not right now. But the reason we're going to do a lot of talking is just to get the thoughts out. Because there's the other problem I have, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to stop for a second. I've noticed that for a lot of us, even to talk about stuff, you got to talk about 1,000 other people instead of talking about the individual. So if you have a need, you got to talk about the needs of 1 million black women, like you're a television actress. You know, when you see a black person on television, they have to be the voice of all black people. what happened to you being a person with a specific need to be loved by a man, or a man needing to be specifically loved by a woman, versus having to get into thousands of years of history, what the white man has done, this, that, and the other. And not everybody's on that level of consciousness, even though they've got their little issues. But still, because folk are in heat, we got a lot of folks that make mistakes every weekend, but we got folks who are supposed to be, we're talking about folk in wedlock sometimes, and they're not intimate.
Not intimate at all. I find it strange. I find it peculiar. What do you think the problem is? That's what we need to know so we can come up with a solution.
I think, this brother, we need to add that question. Polygyny, and then we're going to put Brother Brown's issue out there. Are the folks so damaged? Are you women, men, are y'all finding the women are so messed up in the head over racism or whatever until they don't screw? But you see, that bothers me because folks were screwing when they were slaves on the plantation. Folks were screwing when they were on the back of the bus. So what happened now? Okay, I mean, that it partially explains, but what's going on? Let's take some calls, then we can bring some of the wise folk back. We got to make this move. I want to put this. Come on, y'all. How are y'all feeling out there with this strike?
Let's see. I'm not sure. Caller 951. Do you have a question or a comment? Yes. Ooh, we have a man. Hello. How are you?
What's going on?
What's going on?
I'd like to thank y'all for talking about these topics. It's interesting to hear the different perspectives, and these are very, very poignant questions. You know, they have a lot to them, and some of them may be loaded, but unless you're afraid to address them head on, then there's not going to be any healing process. Me, myself, I'm 6'4", I'm jet black, kitty cat, it could be raining. However, I'm beyond the point of having sex with my own ego, and if you don't want me, I don't want it. I'll lay right next to you and get myself off and play the game like I got myself off and I had a better feeling than you could ever give me, just to give you psychological issues behind withholding it from me. You know,
now,
that being
brother,
said,
yes, that being said, brother, you brought up that point, that game that folk are playing, but in a sense, you're pleasuring yourself, but in reality, in a perfect world, which we don't live in, you shouldn't be with someone having to do it yourself. I have 5 fingers on my hand. It's not a hand cooch with 5 fingers on it. It's a hand.
Let me finish my statement. So I've done all of the things. I mean, say for instance, I have one woman special in my life, and the reason why I have one woman special in my life right now is by choice. It's because I don't want 2, 3, or 4. Now this person lives far from me, and I actually turn down more sex than most men get. The difference is, take this for instance, this Valentine's Day, even though I know it's a pagan holiday, I'm very conscious. However, the person that I was with hadn't really been treated special, so I did the flowers, I did the rose petals. I pick my own roses. You know, I don't go buy them. I pick my own roses. I did the candy. I did the gift, the nice little dress from the loft, and I did all of those things. I did the bubble bath. I did the hot oil massage. All of that, but that's by choice. The problem is kitty cat is only as important as the weight that we give it. See, what most cats don't realize is you could have all of the coochie in the world, or you could have the best coochie in the world, but what these females fail to realize is it don't matter if it's tight. Unless you got a man who's paying attention to the expression in your eyes when he's inside you, to the way that you like being touched, to the words that you like, unless he's actually paying attention to your being, he's only having sex with his own ego. Therefore, I like to, tell myself that I use my powers for good. Yeah, I could be out there having sex. However, I refrain from all of that because that's someone from, that's some 20 years old to 25-year-old stuff, trying to have more than one woman. Now, me, I played by all the rules. I went to college. I got my degree. I played basketball overseas. I take care of myself. Still got my six-pack. My younger brother is a polygamist. He had 3 wives. He's, raised 11 children. Did it all. But the problem is man and woman have come to an influx based on a whole lot of variables in this society, and we fail to realize that for so many reasons we have been torn apart. And the fact that we won't admit that to each other, we never really get to the basics of it. Yes, polygamy can work. However, if that's not your construct, then you need to realize we have to pay attention to each other. Understand when the relationship changes. Just like water turns to wine, then turns to vinegar, relationships go through stages, the courtship, the fascination, the lust, the sex, the practicality, and now it's just me and you, and all of the questions have been answered. So how can we maintain our level of interest in each other mentally to get to that level of relation? Because the way I was raised is foreplay starts with, baby, how was your day? When she walks in the door. And unless you give her that opportunity to unleash all of that tension, all of that pseudo-racism, all of that stress, all of that, you're not even going to deal with her because you haven't even given her an opportunity to shake the vices that every day, today, in corporate America or in private America.
Okay. Thank you so much, caller, because we really want to know. Let me tell you guys, when you call in, we're dealing with these questions. We need for you to state your comment or your question and connect it to the question that is on the table. Questions on the table. Are you facing an unnatural pea shortage? Is it right to cheat if she's stingy? And then we're about to move into, this is a great segue into, did you deserve a break today? Okay. Like yesterday I worked so hard all this week. I was completely exhausted. I traveled. I was so tired. When I came in yesterday, I'm just going to be honest, that was one day where I felt like if I was married, I would love for my husband to grab me and kiss me and pull me by my hair and just throw me in the bed. And you know what happens after that. So I really want to know. I don't understand what is the problem and why are women holding out like this? Why are you guys holding out like that? Why are you women holding out like that? Let's talk about it. We want to hear from some men. I want to hear this because I don't agree with it if women are doing this. So let's talk about it. So we need for you to come on and discuss this. Let's make sure we stay on the topic, okay? Thank you. Let's take this caller. Caller, I believe you're calling from Skype. Your mic is open.
I like tea, but I don't like niggers. No, siree.
Okay. They're having a good time. All right, let's try this. Caller from 289-700. Question or comment?
I was just...
Okay, well, we just want you to just keep on listening. We're going to give these people some time to turn their music down and TVs and whatever it is. Caller from 404. Do you have a question for me?
With your bitch and nigger and your slave beat, you're messing up big time. Take it from me. With your bitch and...
That is really something. Dr. Shore?
Well, in fact, this is where Brother Brown was mentioning. It's very clear when we start talking about getting to our issues to find each other, the real force behind this strike isn't black women. It's white supremacy and racism. However, when it plays out in our relationship with one another, you're not dealing with a man in a Ku Klux Klan robe or sister with the swastika
song on. So just folk need to understand how serious these people know. If we ever start loving each other and touching and connecting, their game is over. So I thank the white supremacists who are going to burn in hell for giving their input, that they're very concerned that Willie Lynch continues to go on, that we don't love each other. And sisters, they're counting on you being against black men. This is like the double preference in affirmative action, where a woman is twice as likely to get hired because she gets race and sex preference. This division is deeper than what goes on in the bed. However, it hurts more there, because if I'm with you and we're separate in spirit and in touch, we don't even get close enough to each other to explore the more serious things that are hurting us. This is sort of why, I still want the personal stories to come out, because the foundational information, we've had 3 wise men speak, we'll bring them back to talk, because we want to get this out, because this is deep and it's insidious. And I've seen families destroyed because the woman felt she's needing to control or break him. I was around a little crazy radical lesbian feminists in school, and they teach these women to be ashamed of their man, to be ashamed of being with their man. And this, sometimes people don't even know. The woman doesn't even know what she's doing. I've seen folks lose it. I've seen good folks lose it, or I've seen folks, I have one of my closest friends who's dealt with this pussy shortage, I'm not going to put his name out there, would deal with 2 or 3 women because one of them half the time doesn't want to do it to get at him for one reason. There's another one that don't want to do it. So he dealt with 3 to try to figure out if he could get it like once or twice a week. Why not one stop shopping? But if we're broken up or busted up, then we end up having to get pieces. You get a man who can protect you, a man that can pay for you, the man that can screw you, and a man that can make you laugh. And we're doing the same thing. And then people get hurt, then nobody gets anything anymore, but maybe AIDS and more heartbreak. Let's take some more male callers, because, there's got to be somebody. There's someone out there that was on a sex starvation diet. And yes, sisters, you may not be getting yours, but you may have a friend who's got a good guy, and he hasn't been waxed since turtle wax was put on a car. Have mercy.
My goodness. All right. Before we take another call, let me ask Mother Dunning, would you ever do that? Would you ever hold out on someone, or your husband, rather? Or have you?
I wouldn't do that because, now y'all know me. I'm no Church of God in Christ. They taught us to be submissive, taught us that you must obey, and they taught us that you just don't do that. And I had one mother teach in church that she was married 60 years, and she said she never told her husband out of the 60 years that she had a headache. So, no, I don't do that. I don't believe in that.
She must have been holding a bottle of aspirin.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, let's see here. Brother Brown, have you ever had your wife to hold out on you?
Yeah, I sure have. And, some of the things we have to look at, some women teach their daughters that the sexual organs of a woman is a bothering tool. And not all women teach their daughters this. And a majority of this takes place in lower income communities where women have used their sexuality as a bargaining tool. But these are emotional strains upon the women that is placed upon the man then when the man sometimes has to venture out and find sexual relationships with other women, he is labeled as a cheater. And this throws a bad taste in the eyesight of the relationship between men and women. But not all women are like this. So we need to understand that some of this is a learned behavior. And it's not necessarily that women hold out on men, but women, some younger women have been taught by their mothers and their aunts and whoever to, this is a tool that you use to get what you want. And that is what's going on out there, and we need to be aware of this, and it's very prevalent in our society.
Okay, let me share a comment that someone in the chat room made. Someone said that men should not worry about their wives having sex with them. That should just roll off their back if their wives are like not cooperating in the bedroom. And basically they're saying, in essence, there's a big difference between a man and a boy. So I guess this person is saying that only
is that a woman
boys,
or a man?
It's a man.
It sounds like an insensitive woman.
It's a
sounds
man.
like an insensitive woman. Oh, it's a man?
No.
Okay, so then he's able to do that. But it's interesting. If we were talking about women what they weren't getting. If we were.
Actually, it's Tahaka. And that's why I asked Tahaka in the chat room, is that what he really feels? But see, Tahaka, you have 7 wives. So if one of them don't want to have sex with you, then you have 6 others to choose from, or several, whatever you said. So, I mean,
yeah.
that can apply with you. Now, we want to hear from some men that only have one woman, one wife, and she tells you for 3 or 4 years, I mean, even for 3 or 4 weeks, you're not having sex. Look, if I was a man, I got a problem with that. Seriously. I'm a woman, and I would have a problem with my husband telling me we're not having sex we don't have sex for a month. I'll be like, well, what did I do? Did I do something wrong?
Mm-hmm. And not everybody accepts that polygyny thing. To me, I think it might be a solution, but, I find women hate it. Men love it, because, but women don't like polygyny. You want to see a woman get an attitude? In fact, I find the women most opposed to polygyny are the ones that don't like giving it. They don't want to put it out there. I mean, they sort of, want to give it once a year, like she's Santa Claus with no deer.
On your birthday, New Year's Eve. Maybe
no, not on your
like
birthday. No, not even New Year's Eve. So he won't have it.
Really?
He won't be expecting it the next year. Maybe on Veterans Day or Martin Luther King's birthday or something because he got shot just to keep him in check. You understand what I'm saying? But not no. Mm-mm. Now, Brother Brown was putting this out here, so you got to keep this wisdom in play. So we should take some calls and come back to the elders, but we want to bring in some more people. We want to make certain that folk come in. So can we do a two or three, and then we do another discourse?
Okay. Would you like me to read another question first?
You can read the questions again. The main thing is, we need to add, because Brother Tahak is putting it out there. I got thrown out of a group on Facebook because I was advocating polygyny. I figured, if you had polygyny, women could share the chores, didn't have to have sex all the time, and on top of that, you could hold a job. In fact, yeah, she could even be bisexual. He wouldn't care. Since a lot of these women gay anyhow. But anyway, the women just nuts on me. And I wasn't even trying to get them to be gay, but I was just saying, if you don't want to do that, plus they send all the men against it. You know what? If you get a man that's down for polygyny, dropping the pipe like 5 nights a week, he's about as straight as an arrow with the platinum tip. Believe that. So we should add that question. Is polygyny the answer? Polygyny is the proper expression, folks, for a man having many wives. Polygamy means everybody can have more than one. We ain't talking about that because if there is a man shortage, the best way is y'all could double up and do polygyny. Who agrees with that? Should we double up? Would y'all sisters feel better if you only had to do it once a week, and then you had two other friends that y'all had shifts, or you had a calendar or a spreadsheet, or y'all could even do that through your iPad. This is my week. This is my week. Is polygyny the answer? At least all the babies would know who their daddy was. Is polygyny the answer? Africa has worked for a long time. I mean, what the white folk gave us here, this ain't working. Maybe, what, I always wanted to have a bunch of kids, and we like variety, and that way I told the woman it wouldn't be cheating if we changed the rules. Y'all give each other high five. You clock out at midnight, and the other one come in, all showered up and everything.
She has her day. You have your day.
Your week, and you don't have to do dishes all the time. And if you don't like going to church to be the trophy wife, you could be the dumpy one that eats bonbons and watch Judge Judy. Maybe that'll work.
Right.
You could be the baby dropping
divide
one.
The chores.
Some of you could be the businesswoman. One of you that wants to get extensions, that wants to be the simulated almost white one, and one of you can be the stovepipe one that's ghetto fabulous. Maybe that will work. But we got to deal with this cool shortage. When we don't love and touch each other anymore, we're dead as a people. This is more serious than busting a nut. This is more serious than being a boy. This is about when we don't care about anybody anymore. We have an epidemic across this country of police now shooting and killing black women in police cars. It used to be if you did something like that to a black woman, black men would care. Black people would care. Now we're sort of estranged from each other. Now you can kill women. You can blow a woman's head off like Renisha McBride up in Dearborn, Michigan, and nobody responds because we don't even feel your heart pull for a woman. I mean, a brother, that's one thing, and we need to improve that. I think we should care about everybody. But do you understand what I'm saying, Black Rose? Well, we don't feel
I get it.
A sense of connection to our own women, where we can have the Oscars and every single solitary one of those little contees, that's my word for Africans that want to fit in with white people, had a white person that they were with. When everybody wants to be with someone, I mean, all you sisters sitting up there watching scandals, wanting to be some white married man's woman on the side, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Everybody wants to be gay. I'm not saying that you can't be gay, but everybody? I mean, there's not enough ACT for all the folk trying to come out nowadays.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, let's take a caller. Let's see. Caller. Your mic is up. Oh, what? No. Okay. Not
yeah,
you.
You know what that is. That's a monkey sound.
Shut up! 50 years ago, you had your own down.
But let's be honest. If we're going to do the monkey, aren't monkeys hairy? Don't monkeys have lots of hair? Y'all, come on, y'all. What do monkeys look like? Monkeys have lots and lots and lots of hair. Now, are black people very hairy, listeners?
No.
I don't think so.
Not.
Who's hairy? Who's a Neanderthal? And I mean, who would need a lot of body hair to live in a cold climate? Black people? I don't think so. No. The next time we do this monkey thing, if we're going to do monkeys, these folks need to be honest with themselves. Have you ever seen a black monkey, darkened skin, or does the monkey's face look pale? All right.
That's a good one,
so I just want to be very honest. I mean, so you know what? The Bible says, from the wealth of the heart, the mouth speaks. That means that the people that put that filth on there are monkeys in their heart, and they want everybody to know. They project it onto us, but you know what? We're the original people, the sun people, the first of everything, and will continue to be, and we will be stronger because we're going to get back together. And you know what? Not only are we not monkeys, everybody says that the French people represent the highest culture of white folks. Why did the French court have sex with monkeys? Why was that a big thing for them? Okay, just think about that, y'all. And why is Europe the place with the animal brothels where people rape dogs and pigs? Okay,
in Denmark.
So y'all have those little silly hayseeds down in Texas that want to have sex with the horses, the pigs, and the goats.
they're hating on the fact that they can't be with a black queen like Black Rose. And that's why they don't want us to get our stuff together. We're going to get our babies back, Mother Dunning. We're going to have our wise elders like Brother Brown come forward and tell the truth. Let's take some more calls. And you know what? I'm with your elders because we know what we're not going to be doing these shows 2 or 3 hours. I'll have time for all this. We can come back another day, and maybe some brothers who have burgundy balls will come forward and say, I was one of those people ashamed to say I had burgundy balls. And I had more wet dreams. In high school because my woman didn't put up. Whatever it is, we'll have that discussion. So let's take 2 or 3, and if there are 3 more white idiot males who are playing with themselves, and it's so small they can hold the phone and manipulate a computer. So we pray for them. We'll pray for them, and we'll have Brother Brown and Tahaka and these other folks just take us from here because we put the issues out here. Okay. Somebody saying that I'm going to put the white men with small penises on my prayer list. I'm going to pray they get smaller. Okay. Amen.
Put them on your prayer list. I wish you had your tambourine to shake for them. Caller at 323-379. Your mic is open.
Hey, well, how you guys doing?
Very well, and yourself? Thanks for calling.
I'm doing good. So what was the topic for today?
Okay. So right now we just stated our questions for tonight. The topic is excessive pussy power a threat to relationships? Okay, so this is our FreakiLeaks topic. The questions that we have been discussing, are you facing an unnatural pussy shortage? Is it right to cheat? Is she stingy? Did you deserve a break today? And is your woman more like a cold fish or dry ice? What's the longest you've been in a relationship without getting hooked up? So we have some more questions, but are you married? First, let's ask that question for you.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So how about this? This question here, how long has it been since you've been without? Or are you experiencing?
Probably been a month, I would say.
A month?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, you said it's been a month for him. To me, that's
what's
just a long
wrong.
time.
But what's wrong? Why have it been a month? What's wrong? Is there something wrong
Well,
with
it's really
you?
me, not more so than her, because she definitely wants it, but it's one of these things where I'm not sure if I'm in the majority, but it's like we have a lot of financial issues, and that's sort of not putting me in the mood. So she definitely gets mad at me because she wants it, but I'm just not feeling it.
Okay.
Well, financial.
Go ahead, Mother Donnie. So it's financial issues.
Financial. I know we have financial problems, but that shouldn't stop you if you really desire your wife. Something is wrong in order for you not to really desire your wife. Because financial, everybody you talk to just about have financial problems, but that don't make you not desire your wife. If there's something more, as a woman, I feel like there's something more is going on.
And you know what? I'm going to say this, that money is a factor, but, you know, we're going to have to be honest. What Brother Taharka said about having his own business, we've been denied employment, and a lot of folks, he was saying folk are boys. Our system is designed to keep boys from becoming men, and a lot of men end up stuck in the boy phase, not because they want to be, but society and our lack of unity and cohesion to do things for ourselves, to develop one another, interrupts the process of maturation. But I'm going to say this, and I mean it. A dollar bill and a bank statement should not be a chastity belt. In fact, one of the few ways that you as a woman can do positive reinforcement on a man and reward him is to love him. I mean, if you say, well, you know what, you got fired by that racist boss, so there's no cooch for you until you find something else, that's almost like a double letdown. Already got discriminated against,
got his feelings hurt. Then he had to come home and face you. Not only did you go off on him, you shut down the candy store. I mean, some folks, that's ready to make them go and jump off a building, especially if they love coochie. Whew. And there's some folks that can train. I mean,
but what about women? What about women? No, he's saying he's a problem. So I feel like that you shouldn't hold back on your wife. You and your wife should be able to talk this thing out and be able to get through this. You got to sit down and talk this through. Because if you're not handling your business, after a while, somebody else going to handle it, then you're going to be upset.
I'm wondering, there's another thing, and we don't talk about this. I'm going to just put this out here, then I'm going to get out the way because y'all elders need to talk. But I'm going to say this. Folks aren't honest, and this is a big problem. A lot of women say their size doesn't matter, but they've done polls. And, I mean, if you're not built like a porn star, for some women, they mad. So maybe, you know, if you're dealing with like 6 or less, you know, if you're like in the little league in your genitalia, you know, a lot of folks, you know, women, you know, they're not anxious. I mean, come on, if you're looking for some kielbasa and they got a Vienna sausage extraordinaire, folks women don't want that. She'll fall asleep. She'll be taking Somanex to try to stay awake, so she'll have red eyes, so you won't like her, and she'll mess with some dude who's broke. So I'm wondering, you know, I know black men are so proud about this. Nobody's gonna come forward and say that they're doing, you know, they're like 4.5 or 5. You know, nobody wants to be a midget in our community. Not even the pygmies want to be a midget. There's some midgets out there that have not gotten, or pygmies. I like midget better. There are midgets out there that want to be Watusis, and sisters don't give you Watusi love if you're a pygmy. And so we need to pray for folks who are midgets. But I hope that's not a wide problem. But I have a friend who's a midget. He told me he's a midget, and he's still single. He's in his 50s. He's a midget. Beautiful man, but he's a midget. A black man, midget. I mean, we talk about Barnum and Bailey, the freak show.
Depend on that.
Yeah, but that's still not getting to his question.
When they see you so small, they got to lean up on the urinal. They almost have to put their chest against the thing on the wall because they're so small they won't see it. You know, I mean, maybe Brother Brown had to stand 5 feet away. He could hit it from across the room, but not everybody's like him at the heart. Some folks are midgets. You know, you don't see a midget in the NBA, and sisters are like an NBA team. You'll never see a dwarf. I mean, they don't believe in Americans with Disability Act when it comes down to penis size. I know that. And Mother Dunning, if your man was a midget, you'd leave him. You'd be testifying, be speaking in tongues right out the back door. You don't want a midget. You didn't have a midget. Black Rose, you've never had a midget either.
Oh, my God. Look.
Okay, now I'm done. I'm bring in the other folks, but I had to put that midget issue out there. And
you have to put that
so
midget
are you a brother? Is there genitalia ADA? They need like a walk or a ramp to get up in there so small.
Oh, my Lord. This is a comment from someone. Okay. It's wrong for a wife to hold out. They treat you like you're single and then get upset at you. And it's deeper than money. It's just as wrong for a man to do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Well, it is wrong, but it's what is the problem? What is going on at home to cause a division and that cause you to hold back? Something is going on. We're not coming to the full surface to hit what's going on. It always something deep down within, and you don't address what's really deep down within. You beat around on the surface. I know. I have many friends my age beat around on the surface.
You mean beat around the bush?
Among ourselves.
They're not even close to the bush.
But what I'm saying is, I'm talking from experience. We'll talk about it among ourselves. women do when they get together, because I know we does it. But when we talk about it among ourselves, but when we get home, we can't talk about it. Something is wrong, and we don't know how to address it, and we don't know how to talk about it. And that's a lot of problems in relationships. Something is truly going on, and it needs to be fixed, but we can't really come together to talk about how to fix it. And the number one thing is communication. If you can sit down and communicate, you can go a long way. Go ahead, Brother Brown.
Come on, Brother Brown. Bring it.
Yes. That's been one of the problems for years, especially because black men, unfortunately, deal with a lot of stress. And not being able to communicate with your spouse, your lover, your wife, and on one accord. Everybody sometimes don't see something to the same degree. But when you have a lack of communication in the home, whether it's finances and raising the children or whatever, it brings a sort of emotional division. And, I'm 60 years old, and I have had a vast amount of experience with women and relationships, more than a lot of men have had. But all women are different. But we must understand that, as Mother Dunn said, if you don't have that communications, things are not going to go right in the home. Things are not going to go right in the bedroom.
Okay, we have another.
Another thing, can I say this, and we can move on. Number one thing is you got to know how to talk to someone. If you don't know how to talk and honor yourself, and a real wife is you ought to be able to tell when your husband is going through, and you ought to be able to help him get through. And if you can't help him get through, something is wrong. A real wife ought to be able to know. She ought to be able to know when that man come in that door, how he acts, how he speaks. To let her know, hey, something is not right. Something is going on. It's just not right. But if you don't have that connection and communication there, you'll never know. And that's how. And I'm gonna tell you this. This is how the Bible says. He called the old because they are wise. He called the young because they are strong. And the number one thing is you got to be able to be wise. You got to know when to speak, and you got to know when not to speak. And some people would say, oh, they're trying to control me and boss me and do this. No, you got to know when to speak, and you got to know when time to go and sit down. And some women don't know how to shut up. And they don't like to hear that.
Sister Shahara,
when you say that.
Sister Shahara Ali wrote a couple of books. One was called The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman, and the other one was called The Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Male. And in both of those books, she brought out some good points that can shed light onto the topic that we're talking about. And, a lot of times, the black man is not listened to. He's not heard in the house. There's a division caused by insignificant women, and it causes a lot of stress. So that even if he is trying to function in that capacity, he knows that this woman is using this as a bothering tool. But then you have other women who are so loving and kind, and I am fortunate to have one that, just like when I took the trip to Mississippi, and I'm just using this as an example, there was never no fuss or no fight or why you going to Mississippi, because we're in tune to one another. And when I got off of that plane in Baltimore at 11 o'clock at night, that my car was right there waiting for me to put my bags in. See, if you don't have that communication, and then it was, honey, are you hungry? Honey, did you have anything to eat on the plane? Are you okay? Was the trip long? There's a lot that plays into that. And as soon as we got home, she was in my arms. And this has been going on in my life for 8 years. Not one single headache. You know, and what I'm saying is that it's never been a cutoff point. I have traveled extensively. Came home at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning.
We have a comment. Brother Brown. Let's read this comment because yes.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Brother Brown. This is another comment that we have. Let's see. Let me find it. Okay. Okay. All women have the same thing. Pussy is pussy. What makes it special is when a man's heart is into you. When he loves you, he will protect it, guard it, want it, and keep it away from everybody. Keep everybody away from it. Oh, okay. You want to add
eat it.
Eat it. Okay, eat it. Okay, so he will love it, protect it, guard it, eat it, and want to keep everybody away from it.
Say prayers over it, blessings. See Rhema visions. I mean, it's the golden pot at the end of the rainbow. Tell me I'm wrong. My mind.
Well, if he don't have to worry about keeping everybody away from it, because if he doing right and treating his wife and family right, he ain't gonna have no need to worry about it. Because people don't realize this. This is me. When I'm speaking a lot, I'm speaking about my life. I don't care if your husband have one teeth and weighs 700 pounds. I'm just giving an example. If he work and provide and take care of his family and do right by his family, his wife is automatically, and it's a fool who don't see this away. You automatically love your husband who provide and take care of his family. It's a fool who don't love a husband when he don't work. I mean, when he's working and providing for his family and taking care of his duty. That's a very foolish woman. That's a very foolish woman.
You got to take care of your man,
you can be foolish. You can be foolish if you want to. Don't never listen to no one to tell you how to handle your husband and you should do this and you should do that. Because
especially
those are the ones who will take you out of your house, and next thing you know, they living in your house.
She'll be in your kitchen. While she's telling you he's no good, she will be in your kitchen while you're looking on the outside.
And she'll do all the things that she tells you not to do. She'll find out what you want.
That is
find out what you want,
correct.
Tell you not to do it, and then she'll smoke the mic like she's Run DMC and the Fat Boys and Sugar Hill Gang and all the rest of them smoke the mic better than all the rappers of all time. And you wonder why your man is staring at the ceiling fan when he's with you.
Right. Let's announce another question. Let's see.
And another call.
Men. Yes, we do. Men, are you in a relationship with Mrs. Screwge? Does it have cobwebs? Do you go dusting or munching? And is it a hot box or a haunted mansion?
We talked about sexual, chinchy, stingy, never want to do it. In fact, there's something we're going to put on the table before we go into that. A lot of what's happening, brothers, is that a lot of your women are using Depo-Provera and other birth control, and birth control kills the libido. And so we got this issue where we don't associate having sex with children being born. So when the women are taking this artificial stuff in their body because you don't want a man up to be a parent, it kills the libido. In fact, a lot of the birth control makes women violent,
and aggressive. So you put your woman on that depot, you're not involved in her life. She goes down to Planned Parenthood to get that shot. It makes them fat. It makes them mean. It makes them suicidal. And in particular, it makes them not want to screw, sometimes for years at a time. And brothers, black women are using 85% of the drug in the country. Take some callers. Depo-Provera, Pfizer Corporation, the NAACP is pushing it. All of our black organizations in Congress is pushing this drug. That's killing. That's chemical warfare on our penises and our sisters' private parts. We should be together in marital, relational bliss, and they give them a shot. It kills them. It gives them cancer, causes birth defects. But they tell you, you know what? You won't become a father. I'd rather a whole bunch of folks be daddies and folks be loving each other instead of everybody being miserable. Somebody say amen.
Amen. And let the church say amen. Okay, let's take this
caller.
Yes, Big Groove Star, do you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, I do. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. I agree with what the brother said not so long ago. I'm calling from UK. And in the UK, I see a major demasculinization of men, as well as, obviously, the chemical companies trying to medicate everybody to behave in a particular type of way through, as the brother said, birth control. So for me, these are issues that it's not the fault of anyone, male or female, but there is a war. Just like there's a war on terror, there's a war on drugs, there's a war of the gender. And that's one thing that we need to all look at as well.
Can I ask you a question, brother, real fast, since you're from the UK?
Sure.
I've been over there about 5 times.
Yep.
And I noticed that black men there, the majority marry white women.
Yeah, definitely.
What's up with how come black men don't like black women in England enough to hook up with them to form marriages? I mean, I didn't see any, except for the African folk, the folks who've been in Britain all their lives, everybody's with the white woman. I thought I was in Malcolm X hell. I saw so many interracial couples. I mean, Malcolm X would be flipping over in his grave. Stokely Carmichael would kill himself if he was walking around Britain these days.
For sure, for real. The only thing, it seems that in this country, there isn't, as far as I'm concerned, I'm New York bred, I'm born, but I came over here presuming and assuming that black folk were going to be the same as they were in the States. As far as I'm concerned, you're a human being over there, you should be a human being over here. Unfortunately, what I noticed is that number one, the disunity, and also number two, it starts from education. The schooling system in this country educates all children, doesn't matter what type of ethnicity they are, on European history. So from a very, very young age, they are what I call psychologically manipulated, brainwashed, and at the end of the day, through advertisement, obviously the media, all these other types of things push the image of a so-called white is bright and black is not, as simple as that.
And so you're saying that they've got this, what I say, usurping history, because they've used everybody and killed everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I call it Afropeans, you know, because to be honest with you, for me personally speaking, black over here is predominant in music, predominant in sports, but apart from that, it's kind of like it's not taken seriously, basically. You know, it's just a fashion thing. And the way I look at it is like, okay, well, if it's just going to be a fashion thing, and I'm always banging the drum of, ancestors in this country. And the way I look at it is like Malcolm said, if you don't know where you're coming from, you don't know where you're at, and you don't know where you're going. And unfortunately, as I said, through education, they catch you when you're young, basically. But that's still no excuse, because at the end of the day, you get to a certain level of consciousness and awareness of adulthood. And at that point, you need to make a choice. And unfortunately, the choices I've seen black people go through, as well as Hispanic, because I'm mixed, is that is what happens. You seem to take the white rather than be strong within yourself and be happy with that.
I have one more question to ask you. When I was in London, or for that matter, when I was in Edinburgh,
sure,
I noticed that black people don't look at each other or speak to each other like we do here in the street.
Is
that something? I've seen this in Brazil. I've seen this in certain places, and that's completely different just across the English Channel. If I'm in France or in Belgium or in Switzerland or Germany, people acknowledge each other, but in England, they don't.
Let me say.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry to keep on coming in. I think it's the excitement. Let me say this. And I'm not using this to refer to brothers and sisters as animalistic in any sense, shape, way, or form. But if you look in the jungle, right, in the natural terrain, right, you'll see a lion will not have any, or a pack will not have any issues with other creatures. But when another pack comes along, another lion comes along, that's when suddenly there's a lot of friction and there's a lot of hostility and et cetera. This is happening in this country. In the UK, I find that brothers and sisters would rather attack each other because of stupidity, basically. I mean, I can remember in the 80s growing up in both New York and Los Angeles, and in Los Angeles, even up to now, you still have the stupidity of colors. Now it's more territorial and money. But the thing is, I can remember that over there, and coming over here now, it's about postcodes. A person actually believes that they own the streets or the hood that they're in over here, which is very, very... Everything that happened in the States seems to 10 years later or, seems to happen over here, I find, Yeah.
So well, it's the same way the chief of police that designed Stop and Frisk in New York,
there you go,
was sent over to London in 2011. I have one other question, and I need to take another caller.
Sure.
It's an observation both in the United States, in continental Europe, in Great Britain, in Canada, even in Africa and Australia. Which group of Africans is the most likely to be at conflict with others? Folks from the African continent, folks from the Caribbean, folks from the States, or those people who've been in Britain a long time? By your estimation, which group was the hardest to bond with?
The hardest to bond with in this country.
No. In the UK, yes. Okay.
Yeah, in the UK would be. What I've noticed is the hostility between West Indian and Nigerian, specifically Nigerian.
You've answered my question. I knew that what the answer was. I wanted to hear someone else say that.
Yeah.
We need to take another caller, but I'm going to put this on the table for the people listening. As I mentioned the term Conti, I use the term trop. We have people from other cultures that come to the U.S., from the Caribbean, that are not interested in at least building some sort of dialogue with other people. They come in as conquerors. a lot of the violent crime in England is with the Yardie gangs from Jamaica. In fact, the British police have started carrying guns in reaction to the violence from, in particular, the Jamaican gangs. But that's another discussion. Brother, we want your number because we'd like for you to, we've had one show on Britain. We need to do another one because there was just Stephen Lawrence, whose mother I know. This case has been reopened. We'd like to bring you back to talk about that. And forgive us for going off topic, but we're going to get back to sex. But we do serious shows. This is a show to attract superficial listeners who don't want to get heavy into black stuff. So we figure sex sells. So we're going to do a little bit of sex, and then we're going to go back to Pan-Africanism and hell-raising and revolutionary stuff on our next program. In fact, I need to tell y'all we're going to have Sister Kalia Clark. She was Medgar Evers' assistant. This woman was the leader of the Selma movement in the civil rights movement. She's a Green Party candidate for senator in New York. She was married to Bernard Lafayette, a freedom rider, as well as one of the heads of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. This woman was at Freedom Summer. She has a complete history. She's going to bring us to discuss self-determination, self-defense, self-reliance, and sovereignty, which are issues. Those 4 S's are very important to me and to our Lotus family. So Kalia Clark, I just want to put that shout out. Same time, it'll be 8 p.m. tomorrow. We're also going to talk about, just to recap, on the assassination of Chokwe Lumumba. I did see a joke on the net, y'all. I saw Ben Jealous from the NAACP is supposedly a mentee of Chokwe Lumumba. By the way, the person that posted it on my page works for George Soros. Go figure, y'all. Let's go back to sex. In fact, I know who I can count on to bring some reality. Take a question or two, and I think we should let Brother Brown hammer because he was bringing it. We can just take questions and have him run the last half of this program.
Okay, I'll tell you what, we actually do have a question. Brother Brown, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay. We have a question from someone. Someone asked, this person actually owns a sex toy company. Let me find the name of it. KeepItSexy.net. www.keepitsexy.net. And the question is, well, actually, they state sometimes you have to spice things up and try different things. So think, Brother Brown, about married couples experimenting with sex toys and porn in the bedroom. Now, let me just answer what I think. I think that if that's what you like, if that's what turns you on, if that's what floats your boat, then go for it. If both of you are in agreement with experimenting in that fashion. So I think
but what if the man wants to be? But what if the man wants to play Roy Rogers and the woman be triggered? Want to put a bridle in her mouth? Some people just take that stuff so far out there. Folks want to use power tools and stuff like this. Did you hear about the man that shot the other person in the head in his basement because they're playing with loaded guns? In fact, there's a little book on there where they found the gun up this woman's vagina. I don't know how they got it there, and they had to surgically get it out. I mean, so sometimes, you know, a gun, and it had bullets in it. What if she had tripped and fell?
What?
I mean, you know, Jesus have mercy. So, and porn, I'm going to get out. And I'm going to let Brown take it from there because, you know, he got experience. I just read about this stuff. But porn is damaging. A lot of men suffer from erectile dysfunction because of porn. People don't realize that porn stimulates your optic nerves and it reconfigures the wiring of your brain. A whole lot of men need Viagra because they've been watching porn so much. A whole lot of men watch porn so much they want women's vaginas to look like the ones in the porn movies that have been surgically altered. A lot
I
of
actually
men
read about that,
who don't have 15-inch penises feel inadequate, and so because they're watching porn, or they see this person that has more sauce than McDonald's.
Mm.
They don't realize people using cum balls. They don't realize that a lot of this stuff is staged and done. So people want what is unnatural. They think it's natural, and therefore they only came once or twice, and they feel like a loser. Or do you follow what I'm saying? Or I mean, you can't get your wife to do, or your girlfriend to do, what a junkie that needs some cocaine will do on the back lot somewhere. And so, you know, the woman that wants, I've seen people that bet you can't do it all, where the woman has about 3-4 things in her mouth at one time. Some folks need that, and what happens, I'm going to just say this to a lot of silly black guys out there, they bring another woman over, think they're going to get 2 coochies, and they end up with none. I mean, that's a major division subtraction there. If you bring another woman over, and she can munch carpet better than you can, that woman.
Oh, because she will.
Your service to mine becomes zero. Let me bring that brother in. Bring in our elder.
Okay, so take on that question, Brother Brown, about the couple introducing sex toys and porn into the bedroom.
Well, I think that basically, if you are considering adults, I don't think there's anything wrong with any objective you take to enhance your sex life. Some people have taboos about toys and porn and whatever, but I know that some things can go to the extreme. Now, some people take pornography in the wrong manner because if you look at too much of it, it's just like anything. We have to realize that we are spiritual people. And sometimes things affect the spirit of that person in an uncompromising manner. I don't agree to people looking at child porn. I don't agree to people looking at bestiality. But,
no,
if you see...
in the realm of male and female porn.
Right, and that's what you choose to do. If two consenting adults want to say, okay, we'll go get a dirty movie, and we'll put it in, and we'll lay in the bed and sip. Yeah. And we'll sit down and we'll drink us some wine. Some people might even want to smoke a joint, and we'll sit down together and we'll enjoy this, and then we'll see what it leads to. And that's perfectly all right for those consenting adults. So why you laugh? But I think that, it shouldn't be just...
laughing, Brother Brown, because a lot of young people didn't know that people had weed a long time ago. They think that most folks think busting the nuts started in the 90s. They don't believe folks busted nuts hundreds of years ago.
They better get with the program. They better get with the program. It's unfortunate that I'm drug-free now, but I started smoking weed when I was 15 or 16. But that was many years ago.
Did you have a lot of sex when you were on weed? Brother Brown, did you have a lot of sex when you were on weed?
Well, let me put it this way. It enhances the sex drive.
Really?
Yes, it does. So, and that was unfabricated.
Speaking of which, wait a minute. Speaking of which, we were also talking about like aphrodisiacs. So incorporate that into answering the question as well.
They had something. When I was a young man, I stayed in England when they were talking about England and Great Britain. I lived in England for eight months. That was back in 1975. And I was introduced by an older gentleman. I was a merchant seaman. I worked for the United States government. And I was on a ship. And this older gentleman, I guess I was about 20 years old, this older gentleman introduced me to something called China paint. And I didn't know what it was. China paint. It's aphrodisiac.
Okay.
It's made by the Chinese. And what it is that a man rubs it on his penis. And once he gets
like a cream or a gel? Is it a cream or a gel?
It's like a little oil. It's like a brown oil that comes in a little bottle. And this once he uses that, I mean he obtains an erection. I mean it's like an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah, I mean it's like 40 minutes before he can actually discharge and ejaculate. So that
they should call that crazy glue.
You know what? Let me just speak on this right quick, Brother Brown. Dr. Jewel Pookroom actually gives a lecture on how it's really improper for men to allow that first ejaculation to proceed. They should hold that one and then hold the next one. And when you do that, it actually heals different organs in your body. Like the first time, if you feel yourself ready to ejaculate, you hold that, and I think it heals like your liver. Then the next time, it heals your spleen. So, I find that very interesting. But I just had to put that in there, Brother Brown.
I got to ask you something. Well, how do people build up that control? Do they listen to the village people with YMCA and tighten the muscle back there? How I don't know.
Well,
we have to do a show on this.
Tell us about that China paint. That China paint, Brother Brown. Yeah.
It's called China paint. And once you use that China paint, the sensation on the woman is extremely good, and the thing about it is that the longevity of the man, you understand me, makes the woman more pleasurable in the intercourse atmosphere. And the thing about it is that if a man ejaculates quick, he's almost done, because most men don't use the element of foreplay. So if you don't use the element of foreplay and you just go into the sex act and you want a session, the woman is not ready. And
did
if
I
she
hear
is ready,
car door shut? She must be going. I'm sorry. She's one that gets up. Oh Lord! And she go to church. I'm gonna talk to her. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
But what I'm saying is that aphrodisiacs, the aphrodisiacs in the relationship, is very, very prevalent, and it's something that can be used and to enhance that, because we try things, and there's a lot of natural things that you can use. Like men can use hemby, which is an African root that enhances the sexuality of the male as he gets older. Oh yeah.
Did you say yohimbe? Yes, I'm familiar with yohimbe. Yes. And you can make that in a tea.
You can make it in a tea.
Ghana that looks like a bunch of sticks and branches. I brought it over, and I made tea out of that.
I think that's where yohimbe comes from.
Well, I had some of that. I had some. I was using it in Tennessee. I didn't know you did Black Rose. I was making it for my godbrother, and my godbrother loved that stuff. In fact, I made it taste like Kool-Aid. So it tastes good. I made a fruit punch and add that stuff in there. And it was $1. For $1, I had like a 4-year supply. White folks' medicine is Viagra will kill you. This yohimbe stuff, you can actually put it in Kool-Aid, have a good time. It doesn't even have to be alcoholic. So, you can be completely safe, Mother
Where
Dunning.
you find that at?
I have
they have it all over.
They can put it over. It's not only that, it makes you feel good, it makes you feel happy. You almost feel like shouting. You think you'll be born again if you have some.
Yeah.
They have another one called Damiana. Damiana is a herb, and you take Damiana, ginseng, and yohimbe, and you make a tea out of it.
Oh, you're gonna be really up then. You talking about
it's quick acting. So you use that, and because actually Viagra has yohimbe and Damiana.
A lot of these synthetic drugs.
In fact, what's his name? Isaac Hayes. Isaac Hayes is the most famous victim of Viagra. He was trying to busted down on that young girl on the treadmill, and it killed her. Oh, I don't like Viagra. We need, but we need to get our elders like you, Mother Dunning. Y'all know how to get some turpentine and mix it with some maple syrup. Y'all used to do all that stuff. You from Mississippi. We need to get back to that. You know what I'm saying? They did everything with turpentine. I'm amazed. They did everything except give it for communion on Sunday. So,
oh my goodness.
Do we have any more people out there? There's got to be somebody out there with the big knot in your genitals just crying. I did not do it. I did not.
931. Your mic is open. Hey, Tyrone. Welcome into the Lotus Place. How are you?
I'm good. You?
I'm very well. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Tennessee.
Tennessee?
Yeah.
What part of Tennessee? That's my hometown. What part of Tennessee? Well, Memphis is my hometown.
Nashville.
Oh.
Okay, Nashville. Nashville is, I love
Nashville.
Nashville.
Really living up in there. Everybody playing guitars and stuff.
Yeah, I've had a quick question.
Tyrone, have you ever had any yohimbi before?
No.
Okay. Are you married?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to call in about.
Okay, bring it.
Yeah, me and my wife been talking about changing things up in the bedroom.
Okay.
And so I brought my dog in and let it fuck her in the ass, and she won't stop fucking it.
Bye, fool. Okay, anyway. So, Brother Brown, the yohimbi, I think that we need to get some for Mother Dunning, and we'll send her some of that yohimbi, okay? We'll let you try.
You can give that health food stuff.
Yeah, they have plenty of that.
The GNC store sells.
I go to the Chinese herb stores. They have it. We're not going to be able to take your call. We're not going to be able to take your call. Yeah, well, anyway, we'll move on. We only have a few more minutes left anyway. So let's just have some concluding comments. So, Brother Brown, we don't just want to talk about things. We want to also impart some solutions to our audience. So in terms of women that are holding out from a man's perspective, from the elder, what do you suggest? Could you just sum it up for us in like about 40 seconds? Like, what should men do if they're experiencing that type of trouble in the bedroom?
Well, I think the first in the bedroom. I think they should first try. Right. I think they should first try to communicate with the woman, see what's going on. And like you said earlier about the hormonal imbalance in those drugs, and when I was young in my first marriage, I experienced that when my ex-wife used to take different kind of pills for birth control, that there was a vast amount of hormonal imbalance that caused her to be frigid, not want to have sex. And, I was fairly young. I was in my 20s, so it kind of pushed me to the curb sometimes. But I think that communication is one of the better elements. And, and then you got some women, like I said, that they just stuck on what their mothers taught them, that use sex as a bothering tool. And not 9 times out of 10, if a woman uses sex as a bothering tool, they will have a disruptive relationship because that man got needs to be met. And if he's in love with that woman, he'll take it to the extreme. He'll try to hold out. But if he continues to hold out and she holds out, then he's gonna find sex somewhere, and we don't want to do that because we have enough busted up relationships. I think it's very important for women to understand that, if you want to keep this man in the hump, and don't try to make the man go to church just to have sex. A lot of women use that. Well, if he ain't going to church with me, I'm not. And I went through that. I'm not going. Yeah, she put the Jesus hold on. She put the Jesus hold on. If you ain't going to church, if you ain't gonna have Bible study, I'm not gonna have sex. So I said, well, you know what? It is what it is, and I call a spade a spade. So I didn't succumb to what she wanted me to do. Don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Love the man.
Okay.
Love the man. Love that man for who he is. And if you're in a relationship with him and y'all have been enjoying sex, then let it continue to have sex. And, if y'all come to an agreement, and lifestyles change. But don't use that as a bothering tool. And older women don't teach these younger women that's how you get money and that's how you get money out of man. Because what you're doing is you're making them out of covert prostitutes.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. And you know what? It's kind of hard to sell sand on the beach. That's what their mothers haven't figured out.
Right.
That's like trying to sell salt water when you're on a cruise ship in the Atlantic. I mean, sisters act like this. You know, brothers pretend this assured as we've been told to over-venerate it. But, you know, these mothers have to stop telling their daughters that they're coochies like those pieces at the Las Vegas crap table. Because, you know, you always lose against the house. You know,
the house always wins.
Up in the bank, so.
My. Well, you know what? Let me just say this, and then I want to hear from Mother Dunning. I'm always friends with older women. Like, I'm 42 now. Most of my friends, my female friends, are like 50. They're in their 50s or their 60s, and it's always been like that for me. Even when I was in my 20s, my friends were like in their 50s or 60s. So I had this friend, and she told me she was married, and she told me no matter what she was mad at her husband about, she still kept her same routine, which was when he came in the house, she removed his shoes, asked him, "How are you doing?" ran his bath water, and had his dinner ready for him. So, Mother Donna, I want to hear what you have to say about that. Mother Donna, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Are you driving to the store?
Well, all I can say, I didn't hear you.
So what do you have to say about that, Mother Donna? What do you have to say about that, women?
Answer the question again. I didn't hear you. That my doorbell had rung. I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh, yes, Mother Donna. Mother Donna, we're talking about women not holding out, you know, and just keeping that same routine. If you're mad, if you're upset with your husband about whatever, are you going to be stingy with him that night, you know, since you have an attitude? Are you going to be stingy with him? Or are you just going to keep that same routine, cook his dinner, you know, like you cook those pork chops and all of that stuff you cook down there and, you know, make his bath for him? Right. Are you going to do that or what? Because I'm like this. I always say this. What you don't do, somebody else will. And you got to give that man something he can feel. And you got to give him something that he can feel, or he's going to try to feel it from somewhere else. You know what I mean? So what do you think, Mother Dunn?
Well, now me personally, I would keep the same routine. I wouldn't change. And I'm not really just saying this just to be saying this. This is what type of person I am. I am a person, I try to be the same way all the time. I'm not just saying that I would not do this and not do that. I don't do that. I'm a person, I just don't do it. I don't believe in you holding anything back from your husband. I just don't believe in it. I believe you just don't do it. Now, I promise you, I'm telling you the God's honest truth. I just don't do that. I don't believe in that. And that's what and that's what's wrong with a lot of the people. They mess their homes up and try to do bargain chips. And you can't bargain. You just can't bargain like that. It just don't. It tears your home up.
That's right.
And people see, and people get mad when you say that, and a lot of the feminist movement get mad when you say that, and that's what I'm told to country up. A lot of the feminist movement untuck it overboard.
Yeah, that coochie loan sharking ain't nothing. Ain't good for nobody.
And that's why you got so many homes are broken up and torn up. Because it's when that feminist movement come in, and it came in, and they just lost it. They went crazy. I'm not saying you ain't got to let nobody dominate you or whatever. You got to be able to have a system in place, and you and your husband got that system in place, and whatever works for you and your husband, you don't let nobody come in and interrupt it.
Yes,
and that's
yes.
where we
Mother
make our
Donna.
mistakes.
There you go. That's it. That's it.
That's where we
I
make
agree
our
with you, Mother
mistakes.
Donna.
We let other people come in and interrupt us and tell us how to do it and what to do, and may work at your home, it don't work at my home. Now, my first husband, now he was a pastor, and we was like, he was a pastor. But my second husband, he's not a pastor. Now, he's not a pastor. He's a good man, and he totally opposite. Now, he showed me some things I never seen before in my life.
So he's
like
the ever ready
like
money.
What?
Breaking headboard.
Like what, Mother Donna?
I mean, I'm being honest. Well, see, I married when I was 18.
Did he beat it out the box?
No, just let me explain myself.
Have you broken the headboard yet? Did she get the headboard award? Oh.
No. See, I was, when I married, I'm a person, listen at me, y'all. I married when I was 18, so I never really knew nothing. I thought it was one way, and that was the old-fashioned way, and that was it. And my other husband, he was church man, too. But my other husband, he's not like the church man. But
so you're glad he wasn't saved for a while, aren't you glad? You're glad he was the grown up rich stuff. Oh, I thank him. Hallelujah. Oh, I thank him. That's the headboard.
He have showed me some things that I just cannot turn back.
Like what, Mother Donnie? Come on, Mother Donnie. I'm not indulging right now.
We're on the other side of 10 o'clock. We got to bring this back. We're on the other side of 10 now.
Mother Donnie, wait a minute. Mother Donnie, I have to live vicariously through your married sexual encounters. So please indulge me and just tell me, give me one little spicy, juicy something to live on for the rest of the day. Please, come on.
Yes,
what did he show you?
Well, I can say this truly. He have turned the girl out.
Okay.
That's the best way I can put it.
So we're going to make the video on y'all. It's going to be
juicy video, details.
Mississippi Gone Wild. We're going to call it Mississippi Gone Wild.
Yeah, Mississippi Gone Wild.
Mississippi grandmother gone wild.
Done and gone wild. I sure wish you would leave us with one juicy detail so I can sleep well tonight, but I guess I'll just have to go with that.
Black Rose from Memphis. She probably will.
Who is that driving? Who is driving and has all the noise? Mother Hattie, are you there? Tell us something. Can you give us a juicy detail?
I am here.
Hi.
Now, Miss Hattie got the stories.
I can't tell them they are too X-rated. My husband and I just can't tell it all. But as I told you before, I don't care how upset we were.
My God. That's why you use a walker. Now I know. Because you see, oh, my God.
That was the accident.
No, they always call them accidents. That's why you use the walker. Okay, now we know. We found you out.
But no, I believe in treating, no matter what we're upset about. It was on, baby. Nothing stopping that. Why should I, just not be satisfied because some old argument? That didn't make sense to me because there was something a whole lot better on the other side of the argument.
It's 7 o'clock. Your husband's home. It's nigger time. Oh, my God. Holy Jesus. Y'all was like two animals. Was it like Mutual of Omaha, Wild Kingdom?
Oh, yeah. Laundry room, wherever you can it's all kinds of places.
What about under the dining room table? Dining room table?
Oh, yeah. Throw all that stuff off, just like on Jungle Fever.
Oh, Mother Hattie.
All that stuff off the table.
Come on, Mother Hattie.
What about on the spin cycle? I heard on the spin cycle on the washing machine is good too.
Shoot. Let me tell you. Every room in the house was open season.
What about on the floor?
Kids' room. What about the kids'
She
room?
said it's open season.
No, we didn't go in the baby's room.
She said it's open season. She said it's open season.
No, we didn't go in the nursery. The nursery was off limits, I must say.
Y'all couldn't fit into the bassinet.
Even when the baby was gone with Grandma.
What about on the floor? What about on the floor, Mother Hattie? Did you ever get down and dirt on the floor?
Oh, my goodness. That is one of the best places.
Is that why y'all wouldn't vacuum so much? Now I see why y'all vacuum. Now I see why y'all vacuum all the time.
Yes, honey, yes.
That's a trade secret.
Yes.
I believe Miss Hattie pulling my leg.
No, I wouldn't pull your leg on that one. Those were very sweet memories. Like I told you, Deacon James, he was okay with me. I mean, in that department, no complaints. Should have balled it. Put it on the shelf for somebody else to say or something.
I heard a lot of those deacons in the churches are built like the produce aisle at Kroger.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, well, Mother Hattie, thank you so much.
We did keep it home, but we had a very good intimate life. It was just fabulous. Being married and, you know.
Were y'all playing James Cleveland? I don't feel no ways tired. Have you ever had sex listening to music?
Weren't quite that way. What's that, Johnny?
Did y'all ever listen to religious music?
As a nightlight.
Who's done it listening to religious music? Like to Mahalia Jackson or, you know, like Marvin Sapp, You Saw the Best in Me?
Yeah, we made our own music now. We didn't use the music. I'll tell you.
You felt like you were born again.
Miss Hattie trying to act like she an old tiger.
Oh, well, we won't go to the cougar girl.
Well, she went to the deacon for his blessed oil. The deacon had blessed oil.
Yes, baby, yes. I just had to throw that in. So, look, we have reached the end of the show. This has been a hot topic, and we thank everyone for calling in, listening in. The chat room was hot tonight. I'm so glad that people opened up and shared. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, tune in for our Civil Rights Show. Let's see. Dr. Short, do you have any closing comments? We didn't get your closing comments. We'll play some music, and we will get out of here. We also need for people to remember still, Mother Dunning has her GoFundMe link available. Mother Dunning, can you tell people just like in about 60 seconds about your situation and where they can log into your GoFundMe link and donate to you?
Yeah, you can go to Dorothy.
Return to you.
Yes, you can go to Dorothy Dunning Facebook, DUNNING, and you can look up on my page and see my GoFundMe. Continue to keep me in your prayers and continue to pray that God bring my two lovely, beautiful granddaughters home with me. Thank you.
And what happened to your grandchildren? Why did
they were stolen? They were stolen from their grandmother.
How were they stolen?
They were stolen by the foster care system, and they was taken away and placed in a home with 9 other children all together. And I'm not allowed to see my grandchildren by the foster mom. She told me long as I keep talking about it on the radio, there will be no reconciling differences. But I will continue to fight for my grandchildren. I have the right to my grandchildren. No stranger should have the right to raise my grandchildren when both states said I was capable only the judge took it up on herself to make a ruling and give my granddaughters away. Now I looked at a story the other night on CNN where this young lady was born in the bathroom on the floor by her mother. They putting it all over TV everywhere. Everybody's sending her story out on Facebook trying to find her natural mother. I don't care where you come from or who have you. You want to be with your family. And if you didn't want to be with your family, why would this young lady would be looking for her mother, even though her mother had her in Burger King on the floor and left her there as a baby? Now she says she loved her mother and she want to see her mother. Think about my granddaughters. They're going to want to know where they come from. And I'm going to do everything in my power.
To get your grandchildren back. So, with Mother Dunning's case, you were not informed as required by law that your grandchildren
that
would be
is
placed
correct.
in a foster home. So, your fundamental rights as a grandparent were violated, and you're trying to fight to get your grandchildren to gain custody of your grandchildren, and you're fighting through the courts of Minnesota, right?
Yes. Yes,
right.
I am continuing to fight for my grandchildren, continuing to do whatever I can do in my power to help fight for my granddaughters. And also, I would just like to thank the brother who came down to help me fight for my granddaughters, Mr. James Brown. I appreciate him for coming down to help me. Appreciate Miss Hattie Barnes. Appreciate Dr. Shaw. Everyone who's continued to help me, I really appreciate it. But most of all, take my story and do like they done this young lady's story. They taking her story and putting it on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. They sending it out on Twitter, everywhere. If people would get together and send my story out, this will make a great difference. I believe it with all my heart. I'm not only fighting for me. I am fighting for the other families who's coming behind me. Because it's me today, it may be you tomorrow, it may be your uncle tomorrow, it may be your sister, it may be your brother. It's unheard of that a family member cannot have their own grandchildren or their own nieces or nephews, cousins or whatever. It is so sad. It is horrible.
And Mother Donna, so the family that have your children, they've declared your grandchildren rather as what is the special needs. So they're receiving they're receiving a large amount of money monthly. Right?
Yeah, anytime that you would get a child declared special needs, because Mississippi, I'm in the state of Mississippi, and when you declare them special needs in Mississippi, you receive $1,000. And in Mississippi, that's a lot of money, $1,000. But in the state of Minnesota, I know for a fact that you receive $3,000 when you declare them special needs. Don't take my word for it.
So that's $3,000 per child?
$3,000 per child. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Don't take my word. I can back it up with paperwork.
And so the reason why you need people to go onto your page and donate to your GoFund link is because you and your husband have depleted your savings account.
Oh, yes.
I'm
financially I'm financially ruined. I owe one lawyer $42,000. I owe another lawyer $30-something thousand. And it's not even count what I spent out, not even count what the other people like Miss Hattie and different ones and the black social workers, the black educators who, when all my funds ran out, they picked up, and the black educators, due to Miss Hattie, they began to help me fly backwards and forwards to Minnesota and help me. I couldn't have done it without them, and I want to thank them.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Mother Dunning. We have to do a follow-up show, right, Dr. Short, with Mother Dunning's story?
Yes, we're going to do that. And we also want to make certain that we bring front and center the wise elder of our program, Brother Brown, who has basically been a pillar for this sister to lean on in a storm caused by this ethnic cleansing by the Child and Family Welfare Service. So we appreciate him, and we always go to him as an elder, whether it's from the street to the courtroom. He's always able to give us guidance and information. And so we want both of them on the show because the legal rigmarole that she's been through, he would have the wherewithal to explain that in a way that everybody could understand.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you asked if I had final comments.
Yeah.
I'm going to just say, if you're with a good person, give them some. I have a sermon taken from the words of Jesus saying, this is my commandment, not my suggestion, that you love one another. And the subtitle's going to be, give them some. So if you're sitting next to someone somewhere, say to the next person, give them some. And if you're with someone intimate, say, give me some. Amen. I'm done.
Amen. All right. And we will close out. Again, tune in tomorrow, 8 p.m. For our show on Saturday night. And our guest is, again, Dr. Short.
Dr. Kalia Clark, one of the greatest women of the civil rights movement that a lot of you never heard about. She was the woman that Bull Connor had when she was in her third trimester, shot with a 120-mile-an-hour fire hose across Kelly Ingram Park. Y'all grew up seeing this black woman washed away. That was them trying to kill her and the baby inside of her. She's going to be on the air with us. I love black women. Let's all say that. We love black women. We love black women. And we love our brothers. And because we love each other, give each other some.
Give each other some. Well, all right then. And we will close out. Thanks to everyone for listening. And we hope that you tune in on tomorrow. We'll close out with some music from the Lonnie Singers from West Papua. We're also involved in the human rights campaign to free West Papua. The West Papuan people are suffering from genocide as a result of the Indonesian military in cahoots with other imperialistic governments. So this is some music from Benny Wenda. You can find out about West Papua at freewestpapua.org. That's FREEWESPAPUA. All right? Closing out with Benny Wenda. And Benny Wenda would love to come into your church, temple, mosque, organization, school, to come in and speak to inform people about the genocide that's taking place in West Papua. So contact us, inbox us at the Lotus Place Blog Talk Radio. You can follow the Lotus Place on Instagram as well as Pinterest and Twitter. Like our Facebook page. Mother Dunning sent out your link again, and Dr. Short, let people know how they can contact you. Mother Dunning? Dr. Short?
Nidari wagagureire, nidari wagagureire, o Papua walege narire, o Papua walege narire, Tugigalo wagagureire, o Benegalo wagagureire, Waiya oa, o Waiya oa, Otono minina ire nire, o Meredeka waroge narire, Meredeka waroge narire, Meredeka waroge narire.